And we are back with the grand finals of the Low Ink May 2020 tournament. We have Primera taking on the Assassins. Both teams were on stream the last two games. The Stealth Matrix Assassins winning 3-0 in their match over the West Broadway Grillers in the last round. Primera, as you saw, with a very impressive comeback win, reverse sweep over Boreal Phoenix. So here we go. We got Top Cut, and the first game is going to be Clam Blitz at Muscle Forge Fitness.
Let's go.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you much about what I remember from the Assassins. I believe Kuro was running the 52 gal, and I believe they did use a heavy for a backliner. We just saw Primera, obviously, and they had no backline that they used throughout the entire set, and that seemed to work well for them going into the last three games specifically. But here we go. We're underway. This is a best of 7 grand finals.
We are off, and we do see the 52 and a K-Shot and Junior. Kana versus the Foil Squeezer, the NZAP, the K-Pro, and the Splatoon, as well as the remix on the side again of Stealth.
And once again, that is a double point sensor comp coming out for the side of the Assassins. Both teams opening up, looking to get control of mid. These comps are what we've kind of expected from both teams to be using, honestly. No real surprises from either team. Maybe the Foil Squeezer from the side of Primera. But we see two players going down on each side of the map.
Definitely, it's going to be a close match. This is grand finals. These teams are both the best of what the low-level / mid-level-ish side of the competitive scene has to offer, and this is what we're excited to see. We see this remix here has this bleed out. They've been saving it a little bit here, and they're probably going to use this soon to get this push started once they get a power clam. The enemy does have a power clam, and they are keeping it towards their side of the grate, trying not to get too engaged and get picked off by the enemies.
There's a lot of clams on the side of Primera there, as we see the Assassins trying to just hold mid a little bit longer so that they can build up specials and clams of their own. So at this point, it just becomes a point of which team can get the first pick, and it looks like the first pick is going to go in favor of the side of the Assassins. However, the Booyah Bomb coming in and getting a double there. It looked like the remix didn't see the Booyah Bomb coming in and got picked off by it. So now we see the Assassins regrouping and playing more of a defensive point as they try to keep that power clam from coming in, and a rogue Splat Bomb will do just that.
Definitely. Applying pressure on that grates is what you need to do in this map, and that's what this team's trying to do. They're going to keep themselves off of the grates whenever they can, and try to keep the enemies to push up when they shouldn't be. You do see this remix here on the right side of the map, definitely applying a lot of pressure.
A lot of specials ready to go on the side of the Assassins, or was, until the 52 gal did go down. And we see Ethan getting picked off by B Woke. So a very even opening first half of this game, with neither team able to get anything going. However, a lot of specials going up for the side of Primera, with Bubbles and Inkjet. But no, they're not able to find a way to get that power clam in there. So once again, halfway through the game, we're still at a bit of a deadlock.
Here, going to have to push from the right side now, considering that their push on grades failed. They're going to have to get these picks here, or they're going to go down, and they do go down. And the Ewok over here is definitely going to be pushing along this left side, trying to get as much coverage of the map to regain and recuperate the portions of the map they lost while the enemy pushed up. Definitely both teams looking for a pick, and they're trying to make sure that they have the objective secured. B-Woke gonna go down though to Kiddo. Kiddo is gonna be pushing up into mid.
We're not seeing a lot of picks going off for either team right now, as we are now under the 2-minute mark. We do see, we're not really seeing a whole lot of specials going off either. Both teams being very passive, looking for that one push to get in there. So so that they can get the lead. Here comes some bubbles and a Booyah Bomb for the side of Primera. Will it be enough to get their power clams in? They get at least one now, but oh, the second one fell down to the trench, so that might be the end of the push. However, with the way this game has been going, it's possible that one push could be enough to win.
Definitely. We do see, though, that Stealth SMA is definitely pushing up, and they have the jumps ready towards the basket on 52.
And they just need
they only get one in, though. They need this one clam in. They do not get that one in. They still have more. No, they don't. They are wiped, and now they're going to have to push back out and make another power clam score, and possibly score more after that, even.
So you gotta wonder how much, at this stage of the game, with these two teams being on the biggest stage of this tournament, are there some nerves going in here? Is that why both teams are being a little bit passive? Is that why they're having issues getting points on the board? But currently, the lead is with Primera, just because of the fact that they scored first. And there's no way that you can tie Clam Blitz. But here comes an actual push here, breaking the barrier, getting in 1 and 2 additional power clams. So there you go, Primera with the lead, but is able to find a way to get a much more significant lead and forcing the Assassins to come up with something, come up with a push that they haven't been able to do in the first 5 minutes.
Definitely. We do see that the Assassins are very, very kind of like, they're lurking around, they're trying to grab these power clams. They have 2 of them right now, which is not quite enough to win. They do need more than just 2 power clams. They also need to get to the basket because it's already overtime and they only have about 5 to 20 seconds left. The one power clam will go down on the junior, and the other one is also in street. They're both down, and 52 or the K-Shot needs to make a play now, and there's not enough time.
Yeah, too much time going on there. Both teams taking that game to kind of get a feel for each other. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm going to go back and look and see if these two teams were in the same group during Swiss. This might be their first time seeing each other. But Primera will take game 1. Very even KA ratio for their whole team there. Everyone getting at least 10.
Definitely. The next match will be on Anchovy Game Splat Zones, which Mehmet probably will force the remix again with the 52, which again is double points instances, which isn't always the worst situation, but it definitely does not allow them to cap objective with bombs or like use the bombs to push people out of the objective itself. So that'll be something to consider a little bit here as they do pick their comps. They may switch up their weapons. We will see in a second here. We are getting started, and both teams are picking out their weapons at this point. I definitely think one thing to mention is that the fan is very, very strong for a lot of weapons, but it does mess with the 52 quite a bit because when you're falling, you end up messing up your good RNG that you get your good shots. Also, with the K-Shot, I definitely feel like the K-Shot will have a lot of advantages on the fan compared to other weapons.
Both of these teams were in separate groups during the Swiss stages, so it was impossible for them to play each other. This is their first time seeing each other in the tournament, so we'll see if either team can kind of open up a little bit more in this upcoming game of Splat Zones here at Anchovy. We see a double splatter shot comp coming out for both teams here. Pretty much the same. Well, yeah, the same 2 splatter shots coming out from both teams. Of course, the main difference is the Assassins have a backliner, and Primera does not.
And we see that backliner is going to be used pretty early here, pretty much used to paint the zone. But it does look like Primera is going to grab that objective first. Not to say first, but definitely grab the retake of it and try to grab as much points as they can. But we do see SMA is going to come back and right back. They're not going to. Each team is not letting each other have objective. Both teams are really that. Inkjet versus Inkjet Hero is going to get the kill and is going to end up landing again. Bomb is going to kill them. Ethan being pressured here to use that Booyah to probably save themselves as they're being pushed up by those look like CDS.
And Kuro is the person that we've been seeing using the 52 gal up until this point, but now they're using the T-Tech with Inkjet. So, not sure what kind of decision went into that to switch off of the weapon they've been using so well up to this point in this tournament. Might just be the map, or maybe it's just something to counter this no backline, more aggressive comp that Primera is pulling out.
Definitely. I definitely feel like like I said, that the 32 isn't quite as strong as this map because the fan select we probably would have switched. We do see the objective here getting pushed down to 27 by Primera, and now SMA is trying to come with this retake and trying to keep it for as long as they can so they can make sure that they score it themselves. They have not quite got past the 80 marker, or barely even past the 90 marker for objective, and hopefully they can get through that soon. We see Kiro here with the Inkchip's going to land on the right side by the pillow.
Yes, with 2 players down on the side of Primera, the objective will stay in control of the Assassins, at least for now, as they eat away at their penalty points and start doing some permanent damage. As we still see the T-Tac one trick here, trying to find a way to get into zone, gets punished by a couple of players for being a little bit aggressive there, maybe a little bit of nerves, trying to get control of zone there, as Booyah Bomb will come in from the side of the Assassins to make sure they keep control as they approach lead territory. Just a few more points, but the Inkjet coming off, it is a 3v4 situation for the zone, and it does tinker into the side of Primera as they hold the lead and put penalty points on the Assassins.
SMA here now with 45 less penalty is going to have to keep the zone for quite a long time before they can start counting down again, but both teams do. We do see that both teams do have a very large penalty, and they need to get through this, which is going to make these next few plays very important, as these teams only have 20 seconds of left of penalty to get back in. They need to build up their specials, and they need to push back in together. And that's one thing I think we see the difference between SMA and the Primera here, is that Primera is a little bit more scattered, but they definitely have the individual skills. It's one tick away, and Primera does get to take the zone back, not allowing SMA to take the lead.
Yes, and a very close score here. It's just penalty points separating these two teams. This has got the billing to be a pretty close grand final so far, at least how these games have been going. And the zone does go back in control of the Assassins. And just as I say that, immediately goes back into, immediately is given up. But 2 players going down for the side of the Assassins. A minute 30 left to go in this game. A Booyah Bomb ready to go for the Assassins, as we see Tentamissiles coming out for Primera.
Missile's going to be slightly on the zone, which gives the SMA team a little bit of advantage when they were trying to recap, but we do see Primera's about to start ticking down again once more, giving them a further lead, and hoping they keep this for as long as they can, so that way they can score. We do see the Inkjet versus Inkjet once again, and it does look like it's going to be very, very close. Neither Inkjet is probably going to score, but the Booyah is going to kill... Jake's barely surviving, yeah. Wow. The Booyah on zone is going to give them the penalty, so they do need to recap and take it down another 58 points in order to win this game. But we do see SMA is not letting up either, and they're going to recap the zone, and they're not going to go down without a fight. Neither team is letting up at this point. A lot of 1v1s are very important, and everything matters in this grand finals.
2 players going down for the Assassins as we leave with about 30 seconds left to go. A lot of paint going down on the zone as it is currently being stalled. Both teams trying to get control of it. It is currently now in possession of Primera, as the Assassins only have 1 player left alive. Kuro, who is attempting to take control of the zone by themselves, ends up getting a trade, but with 10 seconds left to go and no real specials coming out for the side of the Assassins, you got to think that Primera can find a way to hold on to control of zone, and they will do just that, taking a 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 grand finals.
Definitely a very, very intense grand finals. We do see that both teams definitely have the capabilities to grab objective, take objective, and push objective, even push up even further past objective, and secure as many points as they can. But we do also see that a lot of these plays are single 1v1s and not a lot of team-oriented kills, which definitely begs the question is which team will have better team-oriented plays in the end of the day and give their team the victory.
You didn't see a lot of high KAs going on there. This is still a very even match. Nobody in that entire game got hit the double digits as far as KAs go. So we can see here if the Assassins can find a way to get a win here at Tower Control on Triggerfish. So now the question, because we've seen Kuro play so well with the 52, do you think they'll bust it back out for this map and mode?
I definitely see a 52 coming back after this map mode. I feel like it's a very underwhelmingly powerful here. You can push up really, really far into the enemy's base, get below their drop. They drop down and you kill them. They don't expect you to be there. I can definitely. It's 52's got one of those weapons you see pushed up, and then you don't. You don't expect them to be there, but they're there, and they kill you quicker than you can think about reacting because of the kill time of the weapon. One thing I definitely want to mention, though, is that we do see that remix, and that remix in 52, it sounds like a really, really poor combo because that bubble point sensors, but even, like, I know you played with me in the tournament, and we did that, and it worked out really well. It's surprisingly a lot stronger than a lot of people think it is.
Well, and we've also seen them use the 52 deco with the kelp dome, so it is possible that we would see Stingray come out for a map, especially like Triggerfish, where Stingray is so well used on tower control as well.
Definitely. And actually, I think that's more likely that they're going to pull out the deco here. The deco is definitely a lot stronger on tower control than a lot of the other, than the vanilla, or maybe even the Kensa would be strong here as well. I feel like those are better options than the vanilla, but I could see all three being used by this player. Maybe even Inkjet again with the T-Tech because they're feeling comfortable with it after that match.
I never thought I'd be breaking down a 52 gal deco in a grand finals game, but here we are.
I mean, it's low ink. You never know what's going to happen, man. We do definitely see that. It looks like the Octo Shot T-Tech is coming out instead.
Is that a backliner weapon coming out for the side of Primera? I didn't know they had one in their pocket. There's a Hydra there. And we do not see a 52 gal, as you mentioned. Instead, the double K shot instead. The only switch is they went with Octo Shot instead of T-Tech. I'm sure there's a good reason for that. So Primera now getting the opening push, but not getting control of the elbow first, as you see Ethan. Actually, Ethan, we've seen Ethan use a backliner weapon before, but instead must not be their charger person, so instead is opting to go with a more frontliner T-Tech or Octo Shot. So an interesting switch on their part is an attempt to try to counter what they were expecting from Primera to use.
And you see it's kind of working out here at the beginning. They were able to get this push off slightly, but the Primera is definitely going to start pushing back here on these opponents and not allowing them to take the objective any further than they should have been. And they think they should have been pushing. They want this lead. They want this lead now. They can get these matches done with and out of the way. Better for them.
Ethan getting 2 critical splat bomb kills, which is something they definitely don't have when they use the remix. So about a minute and a half already gone. Neither team has reached. No, wait, no. Actually, the Assassins have actually cleared their first checkpoint. The second checkpoint is much more difficult to get to, though. The tower moves over water the entire time. And if you have a Stingray, it's almost impossible to clear that checkpoint while that Stingray is firing.
Definitely. You have to really be careful about how you maneuver on the tower and allow yourself to pressure the opponents at the same time. You want to be in a spot where you can get to the opponents and make sure they're not getting to you, which is kind of hard to do in this game like this, but you definitely want to see that. And you see this double coming out here from Jake, very, very critical, allowing this team to push up further and make sure that they secure this checkpoint, which they are about to secure. Jake, you're doing another one. They're going to go down to the bomb, though, once again.
Nice trade. And killing the Charger is going to eliminate the Stingray, the only possibility of a Stingray that could be coming out from the side of the Assassins. So they do get the tower over the water. I don't think they'll be able to get past that checkpoint, especially now that BWOKE has already backed off to give players jumps. But with about 2 minutes left to go, not a bad push coming out from Primera, who's looking to go up 3-0 on the Assassins.
Definitely, we see the missile coming out here to keep these people in their spawn. They don't want these people to push up any further, and they want to make sure that they have this tower passed up to this checkpoint so they can get the lead. The lead is important here. You can always have lead, but you also want to make sure that you have a lead secure enough where the enemy can't push past your own lead. And the tower's going to be stopped ever so slightly before by Jake. It looks like they still might have someone on it. They're going to be pushing still, and they are going to get the lead here.
Wow.
Only by 1 point.
That push looked like it was doomed when the Booyah Bomb came in and picked off the K-Shot player who was getting a lot of picks there, but they stay on the tower just long enough to get control of the lead with a minute 29 left to go in the game here. However, since there's no checkpoints in the way of getting to the lead, all that Primera has to do to reclaim this one is just get to the checkpoint, and that's exactly what they're threatening to do right here, even though 3 players are alive on the side of the Assassins.
Yeah, but slowly everybody's getting picked off a little bit here. Assassins have everybody up once again, though. Somebody's coming from spawn, and we do see that the 3 from Primera are still trying to keep this push somewhat alive, or at least keep control that they have, because they want to make sure that they can get this push started so they can get the lead again.
We've seen a lot of random splat bomb kills so far in this match.
Definitely.
Frosh has the ink armor ready to go to try to stall yet another push attempt by Primera to take back the lead. All they got to do is really get to that checkpoint and just stay on tower for a fraction of a second, and it should give them the lead that they need. But with 25 seconds left to go and a Stingray ready on the side of the Assassins, it's going to be very difficult to do.
Very difficult indeed. They only have 2 players up, and they still need to get these players onto the objective. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, especially with T-Tech one trick coming down and being splatted. We do see Ethan here ready in a position to stop this, and they have their inkjet ready as well. So not only going to be Stingray, you have to avoid an inkjet at the same time inkjet comes out here. The tower is going to be neutralized slightly, and that's going to be the game on the side of SMA.
So a nice response by SMA. They were staring down a 0-3 deficit, but still found a way with 1 player left on the tower versus 4 to stay on tower just long enough. And Ethan switching off backline to into a frontline weapon, popping off for their team to give them the win and help even up the series a little bit at 1-2.
Definitely. The next map here is going to be Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track, a classic if you ask me. The long way and the short way. There is a short wall on the left and there's a long push on the right, and both ways are very, very powerful to push. Obviously left is a lot harder to get to. You can use the rail to get the Rainmaker to the left, but at the same time you are exposed in a rail, whereas if you go on the right it's a longer push. You definitely need to have a Booyah, Bubbles, or some special to force yourself in with your team to get past the points you need to get that the left side would provide easily. This is going to be a tough match for both teams, and I can definitely see backlines once again being pulled out for both teams, especially since it just worked last time for SMA.
Yeah, and now that we know that Primera is capable of using a backline weapon, that does throw a little bit of it throws a little bit of game planning that's going to need to go on the side of the Assassins now that they know it is something that can be used, especially now that Primera is taking a little bit of time readying up, trying to figure out what comp they want to use specifically on this map and mode.
Exactly. I'm very curious if they will bring the backline out once again, though, because you don't always need a backline for Rainmaker. You can have your frontline you need swim speed and the agility buffs to make them faster and more aggressive. You can give them the Rainmaker and they can push it up, and that's something that you can do with a frontline comp in Rainmaker, because the Rainmaker provides you a backline weapon in a sense, not exactly, but it does do something of the sort. And we are going to get started here in a few seconds. Teams are readied up, and I think we're about to get started.
Primera currently up in this grand finals 2-1 over the Assassins. However, momentum currently in the Assassins' favor as we see a C-Jet coming out. So now a bit of role reversal here. The Assassins going without a backline, and Primera going with a C-Jet instead. Stingray, very smart pick for this map and mode, obviously.
Yes, the Stingray can be used to counter the Rainmaker that gets pushed up into your own or the enemy area, and you can use it to cancel out other specials as well, like for example a Bubbles or something that allows people
hold on here. They're about to they just got a very nice push there through the elbow, and their push their push will be done, but still that is a huge score to get within the first 30 seconds there.
Definitely.
and control of map. And honestly, if Kreese can get a pick here, gets a trade, but not on the Rainmaker. So the Rainmaker and Stingray coming out, last one's alive. One Trick needs to find a way to get this Rainmaker down off of their plat. And finally is able to do so before getting picked. But the Rainmaker is in a much safer spot. However, a huge lead coming right out of the bat for the side of the Assassins.
Definitely. One thing to note, though, is that a lead of 29 is just a little bit past that left wall. So that is definitely the lead they wanted to get, and that's definitely the lead that they have gotten. It is very secure. It is very strong. It is not impossible to beat, though. I could definitely see Primera here coming out with a lead that could be stronger if they just make their push and their maneuvers right. We do see the cancel shot on the left side there, pushing up, getting those engagements, starting them off. They are going to go down, though. And so is the Splatomatic on the side of Primera. And we do see the Inkjet here from the T-Tech going to be used on that Rainmaker, and there's going to be an Inkjet versus Inkjet type of war there. The one is going to be landing before the other, and the Rainmaker is going to start pushing up. The T-Tech is going to get the Rainmaker, and the Roller, I think, pushed up past him. Not the Roller, it was the Junior. And the T-Tech is going to get the pop probably here. They have their Inkjet ready once again. They're probably going to pop it soon, and they do. Looks like no, they go down actually to the people at mid.
You know, this is a very good map to use rollers on. I wasn't going to say anything when this map was first brought up because I didn't think either team would bust out a roller of any kind, but obviously I was wrong, as the Assassins have been using the Dynamo here with already 6 KA and 4 Booyah Bombs as we go halfway through the map. So obviously a nice weapon to pull out of your pocket here, especially in grand finals when you're down 1-2, and it's working out for him so far.
Definitely, the Dynamo has a very, very strong ability to just zone out people pushing middle or people in the enemy plat. You have this wave of just damage that people have to take, and if you take too much of it and you're the Rainmaker, you're gonna die.
Stingray ready here as the Dynamo is down. As the Stingray can find a way to get a few picks there, you saw Cactus waiting just a little bit to find where the players were before firing the Stingray, and he's able to get a pick with the Stingray as well, as we see missiles coming in to swarm on the Rainmaker to end the push. But the push that did possibly have some potential, especially for Primera, who's been having issues just getting to mid this entire game.
Definitely. We do see Kira here playing this Dynamo, and he's going to be trying to zone out as much mid as he can and make sure that he has the coverage of the map. And he's going to put that Booyah Bomb right in the snipe, so it forces his chargers out through the drop or forces them back. So he has time to get in there and punish the teammates and people that are going to push their Ray of Frosh here, and then pushing up the Rainmaker and get really close to pedal. They're going to be on time. They are going to knock it out, though, and secure the W for SMA. So
there you go. While being down 0-2, they have now flipped the script and have won 2 straight games. So we are tied 2-2, but all of the momentum, especially in this point of the tournament when nerves are going on for both teams, the Assassins, it almost feels like they have the lead here, even though it's 2-2.
Exactly, and especially with this next map, it's going to be definitely a little difficult. And I think it's going to be difficult for both teams because it is Clam Blitz and Moray Towers, which is definitely a tougher map to be dominant on. You can push the enemy's basket almost immediately after the enemy's just pushed you. And that is something you really need to pay attention on this map. You want to make sure you are so aggressive that the enemy cannot do anything about you, and that's something that I really am interested to see if which team can pull it off better.
So when my team won Low Ink, the map we did it on was Moray Clam Blitz. And what I told my team as we were readying up, all you have to do is get one wipe in this map and it's completely over. And that's so true here, especially if you don't have beacons to get back in. And it doesn't matter when the wipe comes. If you are pushing and you're scoring points and you get wiped, you're leaving mid wide open and you're leaving your own basket wide open for the other team to come in and just pile on the points for you. So staying alive and bringing beacons here is going to be key for both teams. Otherwise, this one could be over quicker than the Rainmaker one.
Definitely. I think another thing to mention, though, is that Primera has won both the Clam Blitz and the Zones games. So this game will be going to Game 6 in the least, and that means that if Primera does get this win and they get the next win, they will win, or if SMA gets both wins, they win. But another thing to mention is that the Primera has won both clams and zones already, and those are the next 2 maps, and they're followed by Rainmaker, which is something SMA has already won. So that is something we definitely want to see. We will see here is that if Primera can show that they're just a better clams team, will that show here? Or if they were just a better zones team, will that show here? This is definitely the match for us to be watching right now.
And if you're Primera, you got to think, okay, we were up 2-0, and then we started using a back line, and we lost 2. Does the change in mentality of how they play the comps affect how they lost those last 2? As you see, they decided to drop the back line, and the Assassins matching them with the a similar comp with the Dynamo that worked out so well in the last map, bringing it back out here.
You do see the Squeezer being pulled out once again, I believe, by Primera. It's very definitely not by Primera, but also by another team. Yeah. This is not the first time.
But yes, on Primera.
Squeezer. Yeah. We do see that on the right side here. They're trying to exert as much pressure as they can. They're trying to make sure the basket is defended as much as they can. They're trying to relieve the bomb pressure that's being applied to them. We do see here Frosh and Kuro. Kuro going to go down to that bomb.
And that's the first kill. It took 45 seconds for the first kill to happen. You can tell both teams are trying to be very passive here. They don't want to die and give up control of the map. But 3 players going down for the side of Primera, and you see the Assassins taking quick advantage of it. Nice pick there by T-Tech One Trick. Able to get 2 picks there. Wow. The last player left alive for Primera, able to stop this push. That is huge as far as the defense goes.
All you need is 1 player, and that's all that is needed to stop the push. But if you can delay a push, that tells a different story. It does still feel like that Primera does have the clams here ready and set to start scoring whenever they can, and they are ready to do it on so many levels.
33 clams and Bubbles ready. All they need is a few picks. But a Splat Bomb comes in and gets a double, and Inkjet getting
goes down
one
to
more pick.
Inkjet.
This is
the last
almost
one
a wipe.
and they have to go back very far.
The Inkjet forcing the last player to back up. A huge stop there for the Assassins as they're able to flip the script. When they had 33 clams, a rogue Splat Bomb was all it took to turn the tide, and now the pressure is on Primera. Why are we looking at that basket? Okay. But once again, even though they got the pop there, it looked like they had the follow-up clams they needed to put some points on. They don't. So another empty push, but a push nonetheless for the side of the Assassins.
Definitely. You see Ethan here with another power clam ready at the right side here, and he's going to go try to get this picky. He's not going to be able to quite get it. He's going to be slightly out of reach, and he's going to continue to apply bomb pressure and general pressure. He's going to give that clam to his teammate, Dynamo, who probably is better suited to hold it, considering that Ethan needs to be able to be sneaky to make these kills. Ethan,
yeah, once again, we see 3 power clams, and once again, a Splat Bomb. Splat Bombs are ruling the grand final so far, making some very key kills in the mid goings here, as we got about 2 minutes left to go.
Definitely. I feel like bombs are definitely something. I don't know if these players are just so good at throwing bombs at each other that they just can't. Each side can't handle it, or like if it's just that the bombs are so meta that they don't know what to do about it. You do see Ethan going down here. He's gonna get a trade before he does go down, though. Jake here
landing in the Booyah Bomb. So here we go, Primera once again with another opportunity. 30 clams once again to go, and they finally get a couple of picks and get all 3 power clams in. So there you go.
Strong lead.
And we've seen probably between both Clamblet maps, we've seen probably 2 pushes from Primera, but they've been 2 huge pushes, and they've given them both leads so far. With about 1:15 left to go, the pressure now once again on the side of the Assassins, and what has been a back and forth match here. And I don't think either team has been wiped yet. That's been key. You see how low the KAs are. No, we see 1 player with 9, but nobody else in the game has more than 5 with less than a minute left to go.
Definitely. We do see that One Trick here is going to be pressured and probably go down there, it looks like. And we do see Kreese here. He's definitely going to try to grab as many clams as he can, and so that they can make another push possible. one of their teammates with 6 clams and one of the teammates with the power clam. And he needs to make sure he can grab these clams and start the push off. The Booyah Bomb is going to start going in, maybe, looks like, and they're going to try to make a push out of it. The ball is on the snipe, and the ball still is alive. They have 2 balls now. And they're going to start throwing them in the basket. They do hit the first one, the more important one. They need to hit the second one. If they can't hit the second one, they make it, and they can tie the game.
He does, but they don't have any power-up clams, and they do get white. And it doesn't look like they have the Mercy clam, so they're going to have to find a way to gather up 10 clams. Oh, they already got 7. Oh, as you see,
they have a power clam already. They're ready to go. They're going to be revving up all the way into the fun. Oh, but the Booyah Bomb gets a double!
It's still not over yet, but that will likely do it. The Dynamo player in mid, but the ball is all that really matters at this point. So that will go to Primera. Wow. An exciting...
Definitely.
This has been an exciting grand final so far. Very back and forth. Wow.
It is very intense. You can see just the way both teams know how to play these maps, and they are both not gonna let little things get to them. You can see that even though they were still behind and they needed to form a power plan like that, oh jeez, yeah.
This is such an even match. Both teams struggling to get things going here. So we are moving on. As you said, Primera, they dropped their backliner and they got another win. And they're going back to Splat Zones, which is what they won last time. However, the last Splat Zone map was very back and forth. But we'll see how the Assassins respond. This is the first time all tournament where they've had this kind of pressure put on them to where if they lose one more game, they're done. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond now that their backs are completely up against the wall. And on the flip side for Primera, you're in your head, you're thinking, we just need to do one more and we win low ink.
Exactly. I think another thing to mention here is, like I said before, the Primera won clams. They won clams twice now, and they won zones earlier. Are they going to win zones twice? Well, that's what we're about to find out. I'm definitely curious that they will pull out that backline again for this map. They didn't need it for zones the first time. Will they need it for zones the second time? We're about to find out. We're still spreading up here, though.
Just a quick update on the third place match. The West Broadway Grillers ended up beating BP 4-1. So the West Broadway Grillers will take the bronze medal in their second low ink tournament. But we are going to determine who takes home the gold and silver right here in Game 6 of a best of 7. Primera currently up 3-2 as we just wait for the last couple of players to ready up.
And the match is getting started.
All right. So we see the Dynamo coming back out. Dynamo coming out for both teams. Is that what I'm seeing that correctly? Let me look.
Yeah, I do believe so. It's a Kenza Dynamo for both teams.
Both teams looking to farm those Booyah Bombs to work out really well on this map. It's a nice, flat, circular zone, perfect for Booyah Bomb and Splashdown. However, we see Booyah Bomb coming out for both teams specifically. And in true fashion with how even these two teams are, we've already seen the zone switch 3 times in the first 15 seconds.
Yeah, these teams are so close in skill level that it's almost like ironic, because one team will take the zone and the other team won't let them have it for more than like 13 seconds. At least that's what we saw on Anchovy Games. I expect to see something very similar here, although Wahoo is very, very harder to get back into the zone. It is not a map where you can just walk back into it and be over it like you can on Anchovy. You need to be pushed up to get to the zone. You need to be using your specials like your Booyah that they just did, and the bubbles that he has ready right here, and he's going to get them ready once more. You pop them slightly in the zone, he still has one more bubble ready, and use it to retreat slightly.
The Assassins were able to hold on to the zone, even though bubbles were coming in, and they were down by 2 players. Okay, now they do eventually lose it, but there's still an impressive hold initially by the Assassins to hold on to the zone. It is now a 2v2 in the middle of the map here, as we see T-Tech One Trick going in with the N-Zap, trying, oh, gets a nice pick on the ledge there, and keeps control of zone, at least for now, as they try to get a few more picks so they can start a lockout phase.
Yeah, as soon as SMA gets the penalty here, though, it's going to definitely mean a very, very tough pushback again, once more for Primera. Both teams have a long push they have to go, but it's, yeah, right there, the penalty, that's going to hurt them a lot, because that means 30 more seconds they have to hold the zone than before to get the lead.
They are able to get a couple
they are getting
picks.
glass.
Yes, Primera in control of the zone. However, the Assassins in control of the lead as we are now 2 minutes into this game 6. The Booyah Bomb coming at Frosh, but he's able to survive long enough. But the zone currently up for grabs, but now goes back once again to the Assassins who have the lead.
Definitely. We do see that both teams are once again, like, they're going back and forth with this zone. As soon as one team caps, the other one wants it again. They don't want anybody to have the zone, and they want to make sure it's theirs. You see Cactus have to jump out here, though, so they want to make sure they don't die and lose their bubbles, so that they can push back in with their team. They want to make sure they have that Booyah ready and make sure that they can punish everybody else. They do have the bubbles ready, and they're going to bomb out here. They're going to make sure that they're putting pressure on the enemy so the enemy can't just get picks on them. Make sure nobody's below that drop, because if they are, that's going to be crucial. Pink check coming out here from Jake. Jake's going to start off this push. Going to try to get rid of that Dynamo as best he can. Make sure just before they get the penalty over, they don't even get to score more than 1 point before Primera decides to take back the zone. Primera, woke here, going to go up, going to try to push up, going to recap the zone the best he can. Make sure that they can secure it and secure this entire engagement. Dynamo here now in a good position to grab the zone. He's going to use that Booyah. He's going to probably put it on their plat, and he does. He's going to try to also keep his teammate alive here. And he does get at least the Vengeance kill for Jake. And 2 double kill instead. Also going to be working and popping these bubbles with his teammate here. Third bubble going to come out here. And they grab the zone. And it looks like it's very secured.
1 minute, 30 seconds left to go in this match. The Assassins trying to force a Game 7, a decisive Game 7, as they have control of the lead, but Primera looking to finish this whole tournament right now. If they can gain control of the lead right here, they've eliminated all their play points.
Kill with the Booyah.
Huge double with the Booyah Bomb. And if they can get the pick on the Dynamo, they do. So the zone and lead will stay with them with less than a minute to go. Only 2 players up for the side of the Assassins. This is looking very dire now. And if you're the Assassins, you got to throw everything you have left at this zone. And when they do end up getting a pick on the T-Tech, they do stall the zone. But Bubble's coming out. A loveless Booyah. That's going to be enough to give Primera the Low Inc. May 2020 championship in a very dramatic fashion. What a set.
That was definitely something. You could see how the Dynamo definitely got that triple right there, and that determined the entire game almost to a T. The SMA still had a chance to push back out, but they were not quite able to finish it off. And we do see Primera making sure to finish it off here. They did not let them take the zone. They did not let it go to Game 7. They secured their victory, and they secured it with fashion.
A very exciting finish to what was a very exciting tournament. The first time doing this double Swiss system. And here to say a few words is the tournament host, Hoenn.
Hey guys, thank you so much for playing in Low Inc. or just watching Low Inc. We really appreciate everyone who's come out to enjoy the tournament every month that we host it. So this month, as part of our expansion into 64+ team tournaments, we attempted a setup with 2 Swiss brackets. We'd like your feedback on that in the suggestions channel in the Discord. There's also a maps feedback suggestion channel opened up for feedback on maps specifically. And we do, again, apologize for the technical difficulties that caused the tournament to be delayed by 30 minutes at the start of round 1. Unfortunately, there was an issue with Battlefy, and I'll be emailing them about that soon. But regardless, big congratulations to our winners, which I can't pronounce, but Prisma, I believe?
Primera.
Primera, yes, thank you. I apologize, I butcher names a lot. Assassins with a wonderful second place. I've just been informed that West Broadway Grillers came out with 3rd, and Boreal Phoenix I know you guys have been getting into top 4 a lot. Keep pushing at it. You'll break through and get to a higher position another time. I know it. Alright, so again, thank you very much, guys. If you have any feedback, be sure to submit that to us. And we'll be back in June before you know it.